Who do we got here? We got Austin. How you doing, Austin? Give me a second, guys. Bring up my desktop. And then we're going to talk. We're going to talk meditation. We're going to talk breath work. I might do a guided breathwork session if we get some people show up and they're interested in it. So let's see who shows up. Not a lot of people this morning. 5 a.m. What can you do? You never know. Sometimes 5 a.m. is actually really good. And sometimes it's quiet. That's the way with every live stream. I think a lot of it depends who else is doing a live stream. Let's face it, guys. I am not the most entertaining person on a live stream. Hey, Easy. Easy says, good afternoon, Eric. I didn't see you this morning. I was very brief. Easy, I went live. I read a bit from A Course in Miracles, lesson 9. And then chatted a bit and called it a day. I was just mentioning it wasn't a whole lot of people, which is fine. As I mentioned yesterday on a live stream, that it doesn't matter who shows up. I will have almost the same. Of course, you feed off, who's in the live stream. But for the most part, it's the same conversation I'll be having with others and myself. Yesterday afternoon, started pretty quiet, and then more and more people showed up. Easy says that's weird because it didn't show up in my subscription. That is weird. I wonder what's up with that. Double check. Let's see. Austin says, hit easy. Yeah, actually, it was 12 minutes and 50 seconds. That might be my shortest live stream to date. I'm going to bring up today's. But some days are just quiet. Let me check. Maybe it was accidentally a members only. We will find out. Nope. It was regular. But it could just be a fluke. Not a big deal. My cat is looking at me. All funny. Alright, guys. So, I talked about in the title, meditation and breath work. What do you want to talk about first? Easy says, that's very strange. I was thinking about you just a bit ago. I was talking to someone about meditation, and I'm always hesitant to recommend A Course in Miracles. You're one of the few people It's not that I'm hesitant to recommend, it's that knowing that it is not the path for everyone. So I usually just talk about it. I don't say you should think about practicing it unless anything that I talk about and they get an interest. Austin says, how you doing today? I'm doing good, Austin. Let's see. Keithan? Did I say that right? Says that he's laughing so hard that he's literally crying. But Course in Miracles is definitely a path that will lead anyone from a sense of aloneness, a sense of separation, a sense of vulnerability to happiness. But it can be an intense path at times, especially at first. The ego rebels against it. We begin to read it with the ego, and then the ego realizes, wait a minute, it is asking me to give up myself. That this person will cease to identify with an ego, and I won't have a job to play anymore. I won't have the self-centeredness. I won't be in charge. So it immediately rebels. Let's see. Easy says it's a very difficult book, but you just have to keep at it. And it gets easier. Gets easier. Sort of. Let's see. Keithan said that I looked stoned. Not for a number of years. So Austin's waving at everyone. When you can approach it from the point, when you can approach A Course in Miracles from the point of spirit and not the ego, when you know that what you're reading, you're trying to understand with the ego. Let's see. Bendejo says he looks high on life. Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Squirrel Sniper says, Keithan, really, my friend. So a lot of times we approach it as if we are battling the ego, and the ego likes nothing more than a good battle. All we have to do is realize, hey, Corey, we're not even the least bit concerned with the ego. Not even a little bit. We are simply looking for that which is not the ego. We're looking for reality. The ego is a concept. And we're looking for the reality that allows the concept to arise. So we don't need to battle the ego. We don't need to eliminate the ego. We don't need to even circumnavigate. I love when I get to use that word, the ego. We just have to recognize that it's a concept. It's not real. One thing is real. Find out what it is. What I really fell in love with, years ago, I did the self-realization fellowships from Paramahansa Yogananda, and I had considered putting in an application to join the self-realization fellowship, meaning I would take vows to be a monk. And I saw one of the requirements is that you devoted yourself to the study of self-realization as presented by the yogic path of Paramahansa Yogananda, which is a wonderful path, but it wasn't my only path. And you were supposed to literally, at least at the time, pledge an allegiance to these particular teachings and not explore anything else. And I was in my, I guess, late 20s at the time. And then, as of now, I had a very curious mind. I don't want just one thing. I want to accept wisdom where I find wisdom. I want insights wherever they might be. And A Course in Miracles says this is the path to God, but it's not the only path. And it might be for you, And it might not be you. Maybe the Tao, maybe the Self-Realization Fellowship, maybe another path of yoga, or maybe a combination. For me, yoga's been invaluable. And when I say yoga, I mean the full path of yoga, from the ethical principles all the way to samadhi, bliss consciousness. But Course in Miracles is the foundation of my life. It was my way of dismissing the thought process and realizing who I truly am. It was subduing the ego, or having the ego being subdued completely on its own, because it was so overwhelmed by the loving presence of who I truly am. There was no choice. And it has helped me relate to others in a very meaningful way of realizing truly there are no others. There are simply appearances of the one and only thing, which is absolute love, God, reality, life. All right, let me catch up in the chat. Corey just woke up. What time is it for you, Corey? Austin saying hi to everyone. Corey says, did you know that squirrel is a squirrel? I suspected. Hey, theme park, how are you? Birthday is getting closer and closer. Sniper says, not sure what you mean, Corey. No, neither am I. It is 10:12. Shouldn't you be in school? So if we get, depending on who shows up, we'll do a guided vacation. Sniper says, Corey, hunt squirrels to balance local nature. Theme says, a week today, and I'm fantastic. 1 week. 1 week, and it is Theme Park's birthday, and that also means that he is heading to Disneyland, and it was Disney Safari, right? Disney Safari? Hey, Ann Scrap Chat, my friend, how are you? Ann says hi to everyone. Corey says, well, I'm on vacation. What are you doing on vacation in October? Corey says his mom. All right. Let's talk meditation. Or do you want to talk breath work? Which one of you guys want to talk about first? Give me a choice. Let me know. Disneyland and DCA. Austin drops Ann's link. Thank you, Austin. Sniper says, Corey, what would be best for nature? Only squirrels or squirrels and songbirds? Corey says breathwork. Thank you for that, Corey. Love our toy pops. So let's do some breathwork. Let's do an actual 10 breathwork session. Let's cover some basics. So you guys know, hey, Ginger. Corey, that was a terrific answer, my friend. I like that. Squirrels and songbirds, because songbirds also have a meaning. Very nice. Austin says hey to everyone in the chat. So covering the basics. I might fall behind in the chat. I apologize. Let me take that back. I will fall behind in the chat. I apologize. Because you guys know I'm going to fall behind. And so it's not a good day today, but I wanted to come in and give a thumbs up and say hi to everyone. And thank you. I'm sorry, not a good day. Um, Anything I can help you with, you can reach out to me, and you know where to reach out. Um, Send any love, my friend. All right. You guys know the basics. Nasal breathing. If you want to improve your health, if you want to improve your emotional health, your physical health, your psychological health, your spiritual health, then we nasal breathe. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, except when we're extreme exercising. If you're sprinting in the last 100 yards of a 5K, breathe however you can breathe. Don't worry about it. Hey, if you're doing a moderate exercise, even if you're moderately jogging, um, I do all my burpees nasal breathing, and it has a tremendous benefit on your health. Nasal breathe. So many issues. When you're breathing through the mouth, you have no filter. You are literally bringing in every little bit of dust, every little particle, every piece of lint, bacteria. You're sucking it in like a vacuum through the mouth. You don't want to do that. The nose has a natural filter. We are meant to be nose breathers, except when we're eating or extreme exercising. Basic number one. Basic number two is when we're doing breath work, whenever possible, except for otherwise noted, we make that ha sound. So it's like, again, let me get my demonstration glasses, which I'm literally fogging up. That tones the vagal nerve. The vagal nerve is the nerve that allows us to go from extreme stress, anxiety, fight or flight, to calm and relaxed. What happens, the vagal nerve, because we're so stressed by the underlying stressors of life, we get caught up in this high level of stress and we don't even realize it. And the vagal nerve isn't toned, so we don't go back down. And we replay everything that's ever happened through the course of the day, through the course of yesterday, through the course of the year, since we were born. There's so many low-level stressors in life these days that we didn't even have 20 years ago. You guys remember when you knew who won the election, the night of the election or the morning of the election, and you didn't have news pundits telling you how awful it's going to be, who, no matter which side wins? It's a tough time. It's a tough time for all of us. And that's just politically speaking, let alone wars and violence, all kinds of stuff. Breathing. Abdullah, hi. My friend, how are you? Breathing takes us back. Ground zero. Relaxation. So we use that ha sound, and we do it. We breathe in through the nose. We literally say ha, like a loud sigh or a snore. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to keep the mouth closed. That's not me meowing, by the way. That's my cat meowing, in case you can hear. Now we're going to do the same thing through the nose, breathing in, through the nose, breathing out, and it sounds. That tones the vagal nerve. It calms us down. If you just do that when you're anxious, if you just do that, that alone will be enough to help you navigate through anxiety. I'll show the cat in a little bit. I'm a little hesitant because then you see how messy my office / library / storage room. I have every pair of running shoes that I've owned for 20 years in this room. No lie. Now we add that to a breath. Yesterday we did breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4. what a perfect breath. Abdullah Hai says, holy moly. Yeah, it's not that I'm a hoarder. It's just that I like running shoes. I like my running shoes. Yeah, about 20 years. Um, I found out that I got diabetes. You can fix that to a large extent. If not 100%, you can fix that. Corey says, me like kitty cats. I like kitty cats too. Um, so, we're just going to do 3 breaths. Breathing in for 4. There's a pause. Don't bother counting it. Just notice it. Breathing out for 4. There's a pause. Don't bother counting it. Just notice it. And then we repeat. We're just going to do it 3 times because I got a bigger breath that we're going to do. But remember that 4 by 4. 4 by 4 is essential. So here we go. We're going to breathe in for 4. Three breaths. You can do it that with your eyes closed, and you can focus on the third eye, the pineal gland, the 6th chakra. That puts you in tune with the intuitive center. Now, 4 by 4 is really important because we're going to use it in a lot of other breaths. We're also going to double it up. Yesterday, I mentioned if you're trying to go to sleep, if you do breathing in for 4, and now you extend the exhale and you breathe out for 8. Let's just do one of those. Four and 8. The exhalation lowers the heart rate. It puts us deeply into the parasympathetic state, which is the rest and digest. Relaxes us. Lowers blood pressure. It's an extremely beneficial breath. And combined with that ujjayi breathing, the the snore, becomes very sleep leading. What's the word I'm looking for? It'll help lead you to sleep. 10 breaths. A breath is in and out. That's 1 round. If you don't make it to 10, don't worry about it. If you do 11, don't worry about it. Also, it's based on counting. Your count. Doesn't have to be seconds. Your count. Try to get the in and out at an even pace, as even as it gets. Don't stress about doing anything right or perfectly. Just do the breath. Now, if you really need a powerful means of getting to sleep, we are going to, this is called the Vishna Mudra. A mudra is a gesture, a hand gesture. There's a lot of power in a gesture. A gesture is channeling energy. You are taking your index, your pointy finger, and your middle finger. You guys know what the middle finger is for. And we pull them back, and we take the ring finger and the pinky finger, and they are up. The thumb is hanging 10, guys. We're hanging loose. These fingers, if you can get them together, that's awesome. My fingers, in the history of me doing this, have never stayed together. I don't even bother anymore. The reason why we're doing this is because we're channeling that energy, the intent. This gesture has been done for literally thousands of years for the sole purpose of using the breath to transcend the physical to the pranic. Prana is energy, that subtle energy. So we are transcending the physical and we're going to that prana, that more subtle. We can call it our subtle body. So when we do this, we are tuning in with thousands of people for thousands of years who have used this very same gesture. So it's very powerful. And the thumb blocks off the nose on the right side. The 2 fingers block off the left. Gently. We're not seeing how hard we can squeeze. Also, we use both to block both. And again, we're not squeezing, we're not grasping, we're just lightly shutting them. Let's see. Hey, our friend Brian Lane is here. Brian says, hey, Eric, been trying to stay off the phone more lately. Hope everyone is having a great day. Thank you, Brian. We're doing some breath work, and we're going to do box breathing in just a minute. Box breathing is a powerful way. It can help get you ready for bed, or it can reduce stress wherever you are. And then you could stay in that space afterwards. You can drift right into meditation, which we'll cover after we do this breath. Here's what I recommend. Wake up in the morning, do breath work. In the afternoon, do another session of breath work. Before bed, do a specific sleep-inducing breath work, which can be the 4 in, 4 out, or the 4 in and out through the left, or you can do the box breathing. But you can also do the box breathing in the afternoon. You can do it anytime, but it will make you very relaxed. Hey Alice, I'd like to reserve certain ones especially for bed, because now I've planted that seed of intention that this is my sleep preparation. When I do this breath, it means I'm getting ready for sleep. So let's do box breathing. Remember the 4x4? If you guys can do this with me, and by the way, we only do 10 rounds. That's all you need. If you do more, that's fine. If you do less, that's fine. 10 rounds, money. It's where you want to be. So I'm in the Vishnu Mudra. Let me square off, guys. And I'm sitting. Hey, call to the potato, my friend, how are you? My back is straight, but I'm not being rigid. I'm not seeing how tall I can sit up. I just want energy flowing up and down, nice and easy. I am going to breathe for a count of 4. Remember that 4 count? 4 count. Using the Ujjayi breath, the ha. And then I'm going to lightly pinch my nose and hold my breath for a count of 4. Then I'm going to exhale for a count of 4. And then I'm going to hold my nose for a count of 4. Now, you don't have to hold your nose. You also don't have to be in the Vishnu Mudra if you find it difficult. But remember, there's power in a gesture. So we breathe in. Here's the box. Breathing in for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Hold for 4. Box breathing. This is a very powerful breath. It reduces stress, reduces anxiety, lowers the heart rate, lowers the blood pressure, puts you deeply into the parasympathetic. They taught this to Navy SEAL snipers. I don't know if I like that analogy yet so much. I love the Navy SEALs, but, used in warfare to help someone calm down so they could take these shots. You can imagine how high stress being a Navy SEAL, let alone a Navy SEAL sniper. So you know how powerful this breath is. So Brian says, 10 rounds. Thanks for recommending. I usually don't know exactly how many rounds of box breathing is best. 10 rounds is, it's a good solid number. If you find you're still stressed, do another 10 rounds. Rest a little minute, meditate. Sit in that space that you've created, and then do another 10 rounds. Remember, it's your count. The reason why, again, you don't have to pinch the nose. Here's why we do it. There's a science behind it. Don't ask me to explain the science. I am not a scientician. I'm not a scientist. But it's called the mammalian dive response. And they've studied this with cultures who can dive for extreme dive, like really far down for a long period of time, holding their breath, that when they can hold their nose and do that, it triggers a relaxation response that deepens the entirety of the breath that we're doing. So to hold your breath for like over a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, some of these people for an extreme length of time, they want to tap into the ability to relax. as they're doing that, and that is the mammalian dive response. So you can look it up and read the science. I've read the science. I've had my teacher explain it to me. I don't understand it. I don't need to understand it. It works. Give it a try. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to breathe in for 4. If you want, close your eyes. Gently gaze at that third eye. Very gently. And I'm going to guide you through it. Let me know when you're ready. Just nod your head. I'll see it. I know you're out there. Here we go, guys. Hey, runner boy. We are breathing in for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. And we hold 1, 2, 3, 4. We exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And we hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And we hold 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Last breath. Breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax. Breathe normally. In through the nose, out through the nose. Nothing special. Just watch the breath. Mindful of the breath. Relax. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So this is, I didn't demonstrate as we did it, as I wanted to be able to count for you guys. When I'm doing it, obviously, I can't count. This is what it would sound like using the Ujjayi breath. So how'd you do? Let's see. Runner boy has suffocated, so my plan has fallen exactly into place. Guys, I see a bright light. I'm going to walk towards it. What do you mean you're going to walk towards it? You're a runner boy. Run towards the light. Brian says, breathing is the present moment. Absolutely. Brian says, and let the thoughts float away like clouds while doing the box breathing helps me. Absolutely. Questions, thoughts, opinions? What do you guys think? This is a very deep and profound practice. One boy says, I got halfway and then I sneezed. You can always go right back to it. Thank you, Sniper. Appreciate that. I will be checking it out right after the live stream. One boy says, yeah, it was definitely relaxing. Awesome. So help you go to sleep. It'll help keep you calm. Here's the thing with breath work. Practice it. This is why we recommend 3 times a day and therapeutically as needed. So what is it meant by therapeutically? If you are stressed, if you are feeling any signs of anxiety, if you need to pull back from that anxiety, if you know it's there, even if you're looking to relax your way through a sense of depression. I have used breathwork to help me coast through depression. I mentioned, I think it was yesterday, a lifetime of suffering depression until suffering became optional. Doesn't mean depression became optional. It means the suffering of depression became optional. That you can be depressed and not be suffering from the effects. But it's not easy to get there, because when you're in depression, you are in depression. All I can say is how things have worked for me, how things have worked for other people through practicing meditation. These are tools. They're not cures. They're tools. So for me, I experienced meditation, or I experienced depression, but I am not depressed. That's the power of language. The meaning in which we give it has nothing to do with what anyone else says. It's the meaning that we give something. Am I suffering through depression, or am I experiencing depression? And for me, that wasn't a conscious choice. It was just a change in language based upon how things had changed for me, how things had shifted. Hey, Nightmare. Thanks, Sniper. All right, so do you guys think you have nasal breathing? Do you want me to go over it again? Do you want me to demonstrate again? Hey, Songho, my friend, how are you? Ashutosh says, remember? What would you like me to remember? I remember you, my friend. If you... I learned how to meditate before I really got very much into breath work. Hey, Michael. Michael says, hi, Uncle Eric. Nice to see you, my friend. Ashutosh says, thanks, you're welcome. Namer says, remember the 5th of November. How about, do you remember the 21st of September for my Earth, Wind, and Fire fans? Michael says, how have you been? I've been good, Michael. How about you? Michael says, I'm good. And you so far? I'm doing well, my friend. Guy Fox remembers the 5th. So let me know, guys, if you want to talk about meditation or if you just want to chat. I'm thinking about an hour live, so like 20 minutes or so. It's up to you guys. Michael says, okay, that's good to hear from you. Thanks. It's nice to hear from you too, my friend. Songho says, how long do you meditate each day? I meditate about 30 minutes twice a day. Different schools of thought will present different time lengths. Usually it's a minimum of 20 minutes twice a day. That's what they teach you in transcendental meditation. For what I teach, primordial sound meditation, which is very, very similar to transcendental meditation, 30 minutes twice a day. Guess what? You can meditate for 15 minutes twice a day. You can meditate for 10 minutes twice a day. But here's what I often find, especially in the beginning, when I first started, is I just start slipping into that deeper meditative state at the 10-minute mark. And I want to stay there longer. I want to maximize the time. But work with what's best for you. Now, some yogic and Buddhist traditions will teach 30 minutes once a day. In Zen, sometimes will say 5 minutes throughout the day. So there's really no wrong or right. I would start, man, if you're particularly have a lot of thoughts running through your mind, 10 minutes twice a day. Get used to meditation. And then 15 minutes. When you get to 20, I think you're good. I think you're good at 20 minutes twice a day. Michael says, so you have applied. I'm already, yep, I've been monetized since June. Actually, since the end of May. I got the first one in May and the second one in June. Eyes closed, open while breathing. Either or. Now, if you're doing that, if you're doing this to go to sleep, if you're doing that breathing in for 4, breathing out for 8, close your eyes. You might fall asleep before you even do 4 or 5 breaths, which is awesome. I like to do it with my eyes closed. I like to gently focus on that third eye and just relax and turn it into a meditation. And when you're doing the box breathing with the hands, you just bringing it to your nose, moving away from your nose. It becomes part of the meditation. It becomes a very mindful movement, which adds to it. And that's an excellent question, Songho. Do you ever fall asleep? And I have almost fallen asleep a few times. Michael says, well, that's good, and I'm so happy with you. Thank you. I appreciate that. When I was caregiving for my father and extremely stressed out, and I would get up quite a bit earlier. Oddly enough, not as early as I get up now. And be so exhausted because I was going through anxiety, I was going through depression, I was going through panic attacks, and I couldn't sleep. So I would be so exhausted when I meditated, I would start falling asleep, and sometimes getting that little almost hypnotic state. They call it yoga nidra, the space between wakefulness and sleep, and it's a very powerful place to be. There are 4 things that can happen when you meditate, specifically mantra meditation. You can be having thoughts, regular thoughts going through your mind. You can be thinking the mantra. That's an important thing to remember. Thinking the mantra. You're not chanting the mantra. You're not seeing how many times you can say it. You're not chasing other thoughts away. You're thinking the mantra gently, easily, with no rhythm, no sense of connecting with the breath. You're just thinking the mantra. Or you can fall asleep. And if you do, it'll be a very relaxing sleep. And if you wake up, just go back to your meditation. Or you fall into the gap. The 4 things that can happen. Any of those 4 things that happen, and it's a successful meditation. Don't judge your meditation. If any of those 4 things, and that's the only 4 things that can happen, it's a success. Here's what the gap is. The gap is when you slip between your thoughts and the mantra. The gap is ever present. It's who we are. It's that space between thoughts. It's the space between words. It's the space between the notes of a song that make the song. Without space, it would just be noise. It's the space between letters that makes a word, the space between words that make a paragraph. Sniper says, I meditate for about 3 minutes, no more. I'm usually 60 feet up a tree when I do. Rope, of course, in my harness. I would say 3 minutes at 60 feet is a pretty good time. Michael says, I will reach out and your mail, and we will have a better communication ahead. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Have a good day and good and wonderful day ahead. You too, my friend. Thank you, Michael. Songo says, I did breathing exercises once. Don't know if I consider it meditation. Meditation in and of itself is the process of slipping into silence. Now, here's the thing. You're still going to have thoughts. We're not pushing thoughts away. We're not fighting thoughts. We're not trying to get rid of thoughts. We're allowing thoughts to be. And we're noticing eventually, or maybe all at once. Who knows how it happens for each of us. You realize, wait a minute, if I'm noticing my thoughts, then I can't be my thoughts. I'm the witness to my thoughts. It's a huge realization. Because we get so caught up in our thoughts rushing through our heads that we think that we are the narration that's going on. We think that's who we are. We're not. When you get in touch with that silent witness, it's like taking a vacation. So we meditate, we relax, and we introduce the mantra. For me, the mantra is, I'm not going to give you my actual mantra. We keep it secret, not because it's anything super, super special, but when we speak things, when we get sort of relaxed to it, it's no longer has the power that it used to. Through repetition, it becomes just a phrase. But when we keep it to ourselves, now it has magic to it. So we think the mantra. And we think the mantra. And we think the mantra. And then we think, this mantra reminds me of something. And then that reminds me of something else. And then we wonder, did we turn off the stove before we meditated? Did whatever. Thoughts, everyday life, busyness comes in, which is fine. It's one of the 4 things that can happen. We don't fight those thoughts, but as soon as you notice, oops, I'm supposed to be thinking the mantra, we come back to the mantra. And we think it again. Somewhere along the line, between the mantra and our thoughts, we fall into the gap, that ever-present space between every thought. We never know how long we're there. It might seem like an instant, but it's almost always longer than an instant. The reason why we don't know is because there's nothing to compare. The gap is without thought. It's without anything. It's even a space between the breath, the gap. So if nothing's happening, then how do we know? Because we have nothing to compare it to, nothing to contrast it to. But somewhere when we're in that gap, a thought comes and we're out of the gap, and it's absolutely fine. Go back to the mantra when you remember the mantra. There's no rhythm to the mantra. There's no cadence. There's no, we're not shouting it. We're not whispering it. We're just thinking it gently, easily, relaxed. If you are trying to concentrate on the mantra, let go. Don't worry about it. If you are trying to force it, trying to remember it, relax. No effort. There is no effort in mantra meditation. Zero effort. There is just remembering, remembering, remembering when you remember. Sampa says, I don't have a mantra. What I do is just listen, and I breathe with the sway of the tree on in the breeze. On the tree I'm on in the breeze. Nice. Beautiful. We get some hearts from Toy Pups. Having a job is underrated. None of us want to do it, but apart from money, it gives you a purpose. You have a reason to wake up early and get going. Most of us don't want to do it, but we are happy if we do. It's a great way of thinking about it, Wetback. My hope for everyone, find that job that's your calling. Find the job that, as Wetback says, gives you purpose. Have meaning to your purpose. Toy Pup says, I need a mantra, and sometimes it's hard to get the mind to go to helping yourself, but the breathing techniques really work. If you send me a message, and I will give you your own primordial sound based upon your birthday, the time you were born, and the place you were born. It doesn't have to be exact. The reason why there is 108 primordial sounds, your primordial sound corresponds to when you came from the infinite to the finite, when you came from the unmanifest to the manifest, when you came from spirit into form. When you use your primordial sound, it takes you back to the unmanifest. It takes you back to spirit, back to the infinite. And Toy Pup says it's hard to get the mind to go to helping yourself, but the breathing techniques really work. They do really work, and they help prepare you for meditation. My breathwork teacher makes the claim that you get 90% of the benefits of meditation, 10 breaths, 3 times a day, just by doing your breath work. So imagine that. You get all these benefits from meditation, and they're too numerous to mention, by doing 30 breaths, or therapeutically as needed, through the course of the day. Spaced out. Morning, afternoon, evening. A lot of people say, I don't have time to meditate. Could be a valid point. I don't know how busy your life is. There's a lot of value in waking up early to getting that meditation in, even if it's just once. However, you're breathing anyway, so why not be mindful about your breath and get those benefits of meditation through your breath work? But nothing has ever unleashed my inspiration and creativity like meditation. I went from a struggling writer to someone that writes every single day. You can visit my blog and you'll see every post from 2010 every day. I think when I first started it, I didn't write in my blog every day, but since 1999, I've written every day without missing a day. Toy Pup says, would breathing be part of meditation? Breathwork is my introduction to meditation. So when I sit down to meditate, and when you meditate, you don't have to be in a fancy yogic position. I do the yoga asana called, it's the easy pose. Sukhasana, which means easy pose. And it's an easy cross-legged pose. It's not the lotus position, but you can sit. I'm sitting in a straight back chair, and I've meditated in this chair before. You don't have to keep your back perfectly straight. Straight, relax. You can even lean back if you want. I have my hands on my lap, or you can have your hands palm down on your legs, or you can use another mudra. It's called the chin mudra. Arms, palms open, your thumb, index finger touching, completing a seal, but your hands are open. You're receiving. You're relaxed. I do my breath work, and then I go right into meditation. So that could be your 15 minutes. You do a 10 breaths. Normally takes 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the breath. And then I'm right into meditation. My eyes are closed, and I just slide right in. If you're struggling with your inspiration or creativity, meditation is the way. Inspiration, in breath, in spirit, all means the same thing. Meditation will suit. Here's another thing. I'm going to let you off the hook. Wake up in the morning. Do your breath work. Wake up in the morning and say thank you. Start your day off with a gratefulness. It might have no meaning when you first do it. You might be depressed and you might wake up and say, I have nothing to be thankful for. Say thank you anyway. Even if you're struggling, you'll forget 100 times. Remember once, and then you'll forget again 100 times. Who cares? Don't worry about making mistakes. Don't worry about doing things perfectly. Wake up when you can remember. Have a card that you'll see first thing in the morning. Tape it to your bathroom mirror. Say thank you, thank you, thank you. 3 times. Why 3 times? I don't know. I just like saying it 3 times. Meister Eckhart, the great Christian mystic, German mystic, I believe the 12th century, said, if the only prayer you ever say is thank you, that would be enough. I started doing this back in the 1980s or so, and I struggled with it. And then during some really hard times, waking up with a hangover, I saw no reason to say thank you. Life was hard. Life was difficult. I said thank you anyway. And then I started waking up and thinking, well, I do have some things to be grateful for. And I started thinking of all the things I was grateful for. Now, decades of practice, I wake up and I'm immediately grateful. I'm taking a breath that was freely given to me. I am drawing from an endless source of oxygen that's available just for me to breathe. I am supported by the sun in just the right distance to keep me warm, but not too warm. I'm thankful for it all. Now, do your breath work. Do some easy yoga asanas. If you're a member of my channel, I got a couple of very simple 3 yoga asanas, 3 postures that you can do in the morning or more. I have a couple different ones. Also, if you want to support my channel, I recently did 1.99 and $1.99, and there's a $4.99. Skip to $4.99. It's just a way. I'm not doing anything special for members. I'm just trying to earn an income. So, and I want to do it through my channel. But it feels wrong to say, members only. So if you want to support the channel, 99 cents a month. However, you don't need to. So you wake up, you say thank you, you do your breath work, you do just 1 or 2, 3 easy postures, go outside, take a walk in nature, and nature's everywhere. Nature's on a city block. If you have a cloud in the sky, if you have a sky, if you have a tree, one tree, if you have a blade of grass and an insect, you are in nature. You can't escape nature. Go outside. There's fractal patterns in nature. Those are the patterns, self-replicating patterns, and it's everywhere. It's in clouds, trees, leaves, grass. It's in birds. You don't have to do anything. When you're outside walking in nature, your mind immediately slips into the alpha state, which is the lightest state of meditation. When you're outside walking, gently, don't have to power walk, just walk. Nasal breathe. Breathe through the nose, exhale through your nose. Meditation is happening on its own. Then go inside, do something creative. It could be drawing, it can be origami, it can be coloring, it can be whatever. But you earn that creativity, you earn that inspiration by doing your breath work and getting out in nature. Let it loose. That's a yoga practice. What I just described there, 20-minute walk in nature, just a few postures, the nasal breathing, your breath work, saying thank you, is a full 100% yogic practice, a complete yoga practice. And you could repeat it again in the evening, just like that. Maybe a different breath. Don't substitute that for your going to bed practice, but another one that starts leading you in that direction that you want to go. Let's see. So Sniper says, Toy Pups, getting your heart rate down changes the frequency into a flowing healing. As usual, the blood is redirected back up from the lower chakra to the heart instead of a steady flow. Thank you, Sniper. And Pup says thank you. And we got some more hearts. Sniper says, you're once, twice, 3 times a lady. This is true. You can't stop at once. We can't talk about Toy Pups and say you're once a lady. We can't stop at 2. She's not just twice a lady. As Squirrel Sniper said, as Lionel Richie said, 3 times a lady. Toy Pup says, I would have bought that membership right then, but I got scammed. I'm determined to figure it out now. Thank you so much, Yogi. We're here to support you, and I'm so proud of you. Well, I got advice from a very good friend that told me, an excellent friend, someone who has my best interest at heart. And she told me that I need to mention it, that I need to put it out there and let people know what I'm trying to do, that YouTube's literally my boss, or my office. You guys are the boss. And if I don't put it out there, no one knows. So I don't want to mention who this wonderful friend is who gave me this wonderful advice, but she is a YouTube guru. If you got questions, you grow in your channel. I don't know. Did I give it away? Toy Pup says, I believe your membership is an amazing offer for us to get more advice on intimate fat form. Our good friend, Eric Lapointe and Duncan Walsh said, it doesn't mean you're not talking about it anywhere else. It means that when you're there, that's all you talk about. So that was an excellent point. But for me, I started thinking about it. This was another thing Eric Point said. If people just want to keep me doing this 3 times a day, then, you know, imagine this. I got 6,000 subscribers. Imagine if 200 of them decided, I'm going to get, I like Eric, he's a good guy. I don't care what he has to say, I just like him. So imagine 200 of them, 99 cents. Imagine 1,000 of them did 99 cents. It's 1,000 a month. Almost everyone can afford 99 cents, right? As for what you just said about signing up, Toy Pups, you do so much for me. I wouldn't even worry about it, my friend. Toy Pup says, you're so cute. Made me smile. You just made me blush. Literally. Trinities of love. I like how that sounds. Trinities of love. 3 times. Hey, Selma, my friend, how are you? Selma Pookie. I'm not calling you Selma Pookie. That's reserved for toy pups. However, I'm just reading the comments. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys learned another breath that you can do. If you have questions, reach out. Hey, Isabella, how are you? Selma says, how are you? If you have questions, Toy Pups, send me a message and I will give you your own primordial sound. Remember how to do it. You sit. You relax. Watch the breath. Don't do anything special. Just watch the breath. And then think the mantra. Don't worry about 1,000 different thoughts that come in. Don't worry about them. That's how it works. You're not fighting the thoughts. You're not ignoring your thoughts. You're not using the mantra to cancel out the thoughts. You're just thinking the mantra. You might only think it once. In an entire 10-minute meditation, you might only think the mantra once. Guess what? It's a successful meditation. Every time you slip into that gap, you're touching pure spirit. You're touching your primordial essence, who you truly are. It also negates karma, amazingly enough. Toy Pup says, I got scam, guys. I'm so sad, but it's safer right now. If I don't have a card, that's understandable. Eve, my friend, how are you? I don't know if you were here yesterday. I know you popped in, but I don't know if you were there for the rest of the live stream. It was all basically dedicated to you, and I talked breathwork, probably the last 30 minutes. And this entire live stream has been basically meditation and breathwork. So if you get a chance to watch any of it, and you can help me questions. If you have any questions now, I'm going to stay live for another 10 minutes. So, Eve, let's talk. Questions, is there a breath that you want me to demonstrate? Is there a breath that you want to use for a specific purpose? That we can do that last night? That we can do that right now? Toy Pup says, we always learn. Yogi, thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely. Hey, Leo. What's up, my friend? How you feeling, Leo? Leo says, much love, Yogi. Wishing you a great day and good vibes. Just saying hello. Got to head back to work. Well, thanks for stopping in, Leo. I hope you are healing. Someone says, what happened? Yep, she's not feeling well. But as she says, I'll be okay. She promises. We get a good evening from Kenya. Someone's going to pray. Oh, Eve says it was a bit late last night. Gotcha. Can we do deep breaths? Yes. I'm going to show you 3 breaths. I need my breathing space. The first breath is called easy breath. Guess what? It's easy. You don't have to do anything, but you're focusing on the belly. Eve, this is what I mentioned yesterday. When the easiest way to start, when you are, as you mentioned, breathe to calm nerves when I'm feeling anxious. When you are feeling anxious, you're breathing in a particular way. Notice how you're breathing, and then very subtly, we change the breath. If we're anxious, we're generally breathing through the mouth, or we are breathing high in the chest, our shoulders are tense, we're breathing. Introduce a softer breath. The easy breath is when we breathe through the nose, exhale through the nose, and our belly very gently rises on the inhalation, falls on the exhalation. Nothing special. We breathe in. Just notice the breath. So let's do that 3 times. You can put your hand on your chest, so because you want your chest to stay fairly still. It doesn't want to move that much. You want your belly to move. When your belly's moving, you know you're breathing from the diaphragm. When you're breathing from the diaphragm, you're relaxing and you're breathing through the nose. If you breathe through the mouth, you won't breathe through the diaphragm. You'll breathe in the chest. And it's a very shallow breath. It means you're not getting enough oxygen. So we're going to breathe through the nose. We're going to let the belly fill up with air. Three breaths. Eventually, you won't need to put your hand on your chest or your belly. You can just do that. Through the course of the day, Eve, what I want you to do is check in on your breath and simply ask yourself, how am I breathing? How am I breathing? Because you'll notice anxiety doesn't start like that. We build up to it. Little things, little things, little things. And then someone pulls the trigger and bam, we're in that full throttle anxiety. Let's head it off at the path. Head it off at the path. Check in through the course of the day. How am I breathing? You can even make a meditation out of it. Breathing in. Think to yourself, breathing in. I relax. Breathing out, I smile. And then smile. And just stay in that moment. A one breath meditation. And you can reverse it. Breathing in, I relax. Breathing out, I smile. And then just smile. So we check in on our breath, and then when we need it, we do that little meditation. But we just want to do that easy breathing. We want to notice the breath. Now the other breath is called the three-part yogic breath. We want to fully breathe into the belly, letting the belly expand. Continue the breath, and we widen the rib cage, and we're going to breathe all the way up into the clavicle, all through the nose. It's called the three-part breath because it goes belly, ribs, clavicles, and then we exhale, clavicle, ribs, belly. Through the nose. You guys ready? We're going to do it 3 times. So we breathe in, fill in the belly with air, expanding the rib cage all the way up into the clavicles, all the way through the chest. I'm sorry to hear that, Selma. Selma's grandmother passed away. Sending you love, my friend. You still with us, Eve? Any questions? Those are the 2 basic breaths. And then we introduce that ha. Remember fogging up the glasses? Eve says, so sorry, Selma. And I know you miss your grandmother. That's so hard. Three very simple but very powerful breaths that we can do anytime, any place. And then we have that little meditation, breathing in through the nose. I relax, breathing out, I smile. And you could even say, this is a wonderful moment, and then just stay in that moment. And you can do that however many times a day that you want. I don't know if you remember the 4x4 breathing. Breathing in for 4, slight pause, very slight pause. You just want to notice it. Exhaling for 4. You got that ujjayi breath, making that ha, very gentle snore. Breathing in, see if you guys can hear it. Again, that tones the vagal nerve. That gives you the ability to take you through a 4x4. All right, first off, remember, it's always through the nose, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. As well, we make that ha sound, as if I'm fogging up my glasses. So I'm going to do one breath. I breathe through my nose, and I fog up my glasses. Now I'm going to do the same breath. Breathe in. I'm going to make that ha sound, but I'm not going to open my mouth. Like a very light snore. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to inhale and make that same noise. Make that ha sound. So we are going to do 5 breaths. Breathing in for 4, exhaling for 4. And you can close your eyes if you want to. You can do it with the eyes open. If you close your eyes very gently, focus at that point right between the eyes, softly. We're not concentrating, we're just gently putting our focus there. So, I'm going to do it with you guys. We're going to do 4 breaths. We're going to breathe in. When you do, before we start, when we do that ha sound, it's called a ujjayi breath. It's a very valuable breath that you can do anytime, anywhere, and it will help calm anxiety. That light snore. Hey, Bob. When we do this, it's deeply relaxing. It also controls how slowly the breath is released. If I try to breathe in for a count of 4, I'm breathing in too quickly, I don't make it to 4. Same as when I try to breathe out for 4, I rush it out. But that ujjayi breath, that ha sound, slows it down, allowing me to draw just enough air, just enough, until I get to 4. And this becomes even more important when we do what Toy Pup suggested, the 4x8 breathing. So let's do 5 breaths. Breathing in for 4, exhaling for 4. This is a vital breath. It's a beautiful practice. Very simple. And relax. You've just created a very peaceful place. Just stay here for a moment with your eyes closed and relax. 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 Let your breathing go back to normal. Breathing through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Nothing special. Just a regular, easy breath. And when you're ready, we open our eyes, and we are in a completely different mind state. We have lately entered the alpha wavelength, which is that easy state of inspiration, creativity, mindfulness. It's a very light state of meditation. Do that 10 breaths as part of your practice. Once a day, twice a day. To help you get to sleep, to deeply relax. If you're very anxious, we lengthen the exhalation for a count of 8. I'm just going to do this once. I'm going to breathe in for 4. Ten breaths, just like that. It's based on your count. It's not based on seconds. It's based on your count. But try to keep them nice and even. Breathing in for 4, exhaling for 8. 2 breaths. Eve says, thank you so much for this exercise. Absolutely, my friend. I'm going to give you one more before we end the live stream. Before I do, are you guys subscribed to our friend Any Fitness Possible? This is Bob. Bob has a outdoor. He has a fishing channel. let me take that back. Fishing channel. Bob has a Bob channel. Bob has an Any Fitness Possible channel, which means that it's Bob doing what he loves. Bob doing what he does best. Fishing, but talking, having a good time, sharing nature with everyone. It's a beautiful channel. He's a great friend. I hope you guys take the opportunity and subscribe to our friend Bob. Through Bob, I've met so many great friends. I mean, like actual friends, like you guys are. People that have expanded my community. I've been able to help them expand their community. It's been a wonderful experience. The best thing I ever did was click on Bob's channel when he was making homemade venison sausage. And you guys might think, why is a vegan clicking on a link how to make venison sausage? I don't know why. I just felt called to do so, and when I did, I immediately was happy that I did so. Not because of the venison, not because of the sausage, but because of Bob. Not to mention, Bob is a good friend to vegans. He spent the entire afternoon fishing without even bothering to catch a fish. He could have. I told you, he's a master fisherman. He could have caught all the fish if he wanted to. Instead, he thought, you know what? Let me just let him eat my bait. So, all right, one more breath. Toy Pup says, my screen is open if you need puppy mommy, okay? Nice, way to do that for our friend, Toy Pups. All right, Eve, if you're still with us, Toy Pups, let me give you one more breath. This is called the physiological sigh. You can do it 3 times. You can do it once. You can do it 10 times if you wanted to. It's recently been presented through Andrew Huberman. He's a neuroscience. He got it from yoga. I don't know if he says he got it from yoga, but yogis have been doing it for thousands of years. Remember I told you to always breathe through the nose? This time you're going to exhale through your mouth because you're literally going to sigh. What we're going to do is breathe in through the nose, about 70-80% of our capacity. And then very quickly, we're going to sip in air to top off. You got that? So we breathe in air through our nose, no special breath. You just breathe in air through the nose, about 80% capacity, and then top it off with that sip of air. I'll do that one more time. And then you're going to exhale through your mouth with a big sigh, letting everything go. Every little bit of anxiety, every little bit of stress, every little concern, anything that is conflicting within your mind or your body, we're going to let it go, let it go, and let it go. For which way I recommend doing breath work 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening, or therapeutically as needed. So if you've done your breath work in the morning and you notice by mid-morning you're getting stressed, do some more breath work. That's therapeutically. And then you got your afternoon, and then your evening. Your evening is when you really want to lengthen that exhalation. So you would do 4 and then 8. The afternoon, you can do 4 by 4. There's specific morning breath works that I haven't touched base on. Don't worry about it yet. Do the 4 by 4. All right, let's do the physiological sigh 3 times. You guys want to do it with me? And you can do this anytime you need it. I like to do it after I work out when I need to resettle, because I've gotten very much into that stress state from working out. I want to immediately get back into that rest and relax, the recovery state. So you can do this anytime. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, and then we're going to sip in air, and then we're going to sigh. We're going to do it 3 times, and then I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. All right. You ready, guys? I put my hand on my chest, one on my belly. You don't have to. You can just have your hands open. Here we go. and then just relax. You don't have to do it for any length of time. You just filling up the lungs, sipping in air, and then you're sighing, however long it takes. And you just relax. You've created a beautiful space. Spend some time there. So, someone says, thank you, Yogi. You are welcome, my friend. Someone says, I'm ready. Thank you for being ready. I appreciate you breathing with me, Soma. Sono says, do you have to sit for this, or can you do it lying in bed? You can lie in bed, especially if you're doing breathing in for 4, breathing out for 8, and you're trying to get to sleep. For me, I'm almost always asleep by breath 7. Maybe it'll be different for you. 10 breaths, really good for the 4x4 and the 4x8. If you guys want to supercharge the 4x8, I mentioned this to Toy Pups yesterday, gently close off the right side of your nose. Exhale for a count of 8 through the left. The left side corresponds to the parasympathetic nervous state, which is the rest and digest state. So it'll really, really help you relax. You can do that sitting up before you go to bed. You can do that as you're lying in bed. So it's either the 4 in, 8 out, or the 4 in, 8 out through the left. Why did that make me think of Love of Toy Pups? To the left, to the left. So that's it, guys. That is the breath work for the day. This has been one of the most on-point live streams I've ever done. Normally I do some breath work and then we start talking and we pivot this way, we pivot that way, we pivot up, we pivot down. I love both of it. This is what I do. I teach meditation and breath work for a living. I am a very unsuccessful businessman because here's what I say. I teach my friends and my family for free. Who charges their friends for something? Who charges their family for something? If you are here, you are my friend and you are my family. I teach you absolutely for free. Lovingly so, gladly so, happily so. Here's all I ask from you. Be happy. Be healthy. Heal yourself and then turn around and heal someone else. Create that loving space with your breath, with meditation, with a little bit of mindfulness, and offer it to someone. Offer to share that space. Meaning sometimes you let anger pass you by. Sometimes you forgive. Sometimes you mess up. Sometimes you forget. It's okay. Start with yourself. You're never going to forgive anyone anything if you cannot forgive yourself. Start with yourself. Create this loving space for you and then extend it. There's 2 things. You can be projecting fear out into the world, which is causing a fearful world that we live in, or you can be extending in love. The only choice we have. Are we projecting fear or extending in love? When you work with the breath, you are cultivating love and you're extending it to others. That's what I ask of you guys. Mexican rice with chicken and beans. Enjoy, my friend. Toy Pup says, you definitely helped me. And she says, thank you, Yogi. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you. She says it works. We got some emojis. Toy Pup says, it was an epic live. Thank you. I'll be back later this evening. This evening, we'll have fun. This evening, we'll talk the yogi stuff. We'll joke. We'll laugh. We'll sing. We'll cry. We'll do the whole routine. Toy Pup says, I'm happy. I am happy that you're happy. Send me a message. I want to give you your primordial sound. Maybe we'll talk a little bit in the 3rd live stream this evening, more about meditation. We'll give the breath work a bit of a break, and we'll talk about the meditation. So it's 9:30 p.m. in Kenya. So you'll be going to sleep within 1, 2, 3 hours. Try that breathing in for 4, exhaling for 8 as you go to sleep. You can do it lying on your bed. Remember that ha, very gentle, as if you're preparing for a night of snoring. A very gentle and easy snore. No one has to hear it but you. All right, I'm going to go. This was fun, guys. Thank you. It's very much appreciated. Eva says I will. And Eva, send me some feedback. Let me know how it's working for you. Ask me any questions. Hey, if you are on Facebook, look me up, Eric McCarty. You'll see me. I'm with my dogs. Eve says, thank you, Yogi. You're absolutely welcome, my friend. I'm going to see everyone later. All right? Toy Pups, send me a message. Selma, thank you. Everyone who came in, I appreciate you hanging out, putting up with me. Selma is singing. Hard Worker says, hello, Johnny Sins. Hey, Hard Worker, how are you? We're just ending the live stream. I'm glad you got a chance to come in. I appreciate it. I always love the Johnny Sins comment. You were the first one to ever say that. And it was an original. You know that? Which I always appreciate. I always appreciate when people come in and they give me something original that I haven't heard 1,000 times before. Hard Worker did it. Thanks. Take care, guys.